Thank you for joining CU Bands and Fans podcast. Our podcast is brought to you by Homegrown KIO. Homegrown KIO is on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. It is a stellar show featuring the great songs that have come from bands originating in Champaign-Urbana. Listen at 107.9 on your FM dial, at 1079wkio.com, or ask Alexa to play WKIO. Hey, welcome to CU Bands and Fans Let's Talk Music Podcast Tuesday. And our guest on our podcast tonight is Cougar Trap. Where are you guys from?
We're from Potomac.
And are you all from Potomac?
I would say that within 15 miles of Potomac, we practice here at Tori's house. So that's kind of like the home base, and that's where it says on the page.
Just Jacob.
Okay, cool.
He's from Potomac. Kylan's from Oakwood. You got Nick from Paxton, Phil from Westville.
Josh from Danville.
Josh from, Tito.
Okay. Fantastic. So you're from around here, and their about says on their Facebook page, just 5 Midwestern guys with a passion to entertain, and that could not be truer. I had the opportunity to see you guys. I don't think you were there, Zach, at the event center in Villa Grove. You were doing a fun. Yeah, you weren't there. You were doing a fundraiser for veterans and that kind of a thing. So you guys played along with Ancient Ways and that band from.
Sundown.
Where was that band from?
Sundown. They're from Springfield area, Lincoln, I do believe.
Yeah, they were awesome. It was so great to meet them. But it was great to finally get to hear you guys and see you play and get to talk to you a little bit. And Jacob is the lead of this band. Was this band your idea, Jacob?
It was, I was unable to be in a band for about 10, 15 years because of work schedule and just being prior military. Going around the world, just know that not the time to do it. I ended up switching to the government job with Tori, and I had a 9-to-5. So I asked my wife, like a good husband does, and I said, would you care if I give it one good shot? Because I really wanted to, just go in and go hard. So I tried out for a few different bands for about a year, and nothing fit right. And we're driving to work back and forth with Tori every day. I was like, we need to just start this. Let's start one, let's start our own. And my old bass player, I've known Josh since about 7th grade. He was my original bass player when we were 12, 13 years old.
I love that.
Yeah, he just said, well, why don't we start one? And I said, well, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? And so we added a few people, ended up coming up with the original lineup. And it happened really fast. And we had a whirlwind first year. And so it was kind of a joint effort in between me and Tori and Josh.
It's nice because you came out of the gate. It was like suddenly there you guys were, and then you were just like booking and getting gigs and events were showing up in the feed and all that kind of stuff. And you're fun. You are definitely a lot of fun. You're extremely engaging with the fans of live music, and you love to get people up and engaged and dancing and making sure they're having a good time. I watched you, Jacob, a lot that night, and your number one job is to make sure that people are enjoying themselves at your show. Not to mention the way you took care of the veterans and that compassion that you have for that. Because I am going to say this right off the top before we even get started into all the band members and all of that. But as I was sitting there watching you at the event center in Villa Grove, I watched, and I can't think of his name, and I know I've known him for years, but I never can think of his name when I get ready to tell this story. But he was taking the garbage out. He had went around and collected the garbage, and then he was taking it out, so he's heading out that gate, and you seen him do that, and you stopped him, took that garbage from you, as you was preparing, as a matter of fact, to take the stage. But you took that garbage from him and you went ahead and took it out for him. And that, I still can't, that impressed me so much to see that. It really moved me. And that right there told me the kind of person that you are.
I appreciate
So,
that. I always say I'm the most compassionate asshole you'll ever meet, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that would be
I just really like you
a
said,
really perfect way to say it.
I mean, I've always been good at entertaining. I'm a good singer. I don't really consider myself a full singer. I do love it, and I'm good at what I'm good at, but I try to stretch my range with these guys because we just practice so much stuff. And it's just that's what I'm good at is planning the shows. We've all been in bands our whole lives, and we're all big, successful, pretty good bands. And so it wasn't like we were a new group just getting together and figuring it out. I had a plan from day one. I have a 5-year plan where I wanted to be, what I wanted to accomplish, and we hit it the road swinging. And I mean, instead of switching up the subject, I mean, I know they're only going to make fun of me because I'm going to be the ones talking the whole time. We had a year with 2 other members, with Jarrett Roach and with Cameron Sheets, both amazing musicians. And then we was such a whirlwind the first year. We played so many shows, and we knew Kylan from another band, and I've known Nick my whole life. And they ended up leaving the band. They had other things going on, and then COVID hit. So we survived all that, 2 new members, losing 2, gaining 2, and COVID, and really hit it harder than you could imagine. And I mean, you heard about the things during COVID year that we pulled off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you did. So, Tori,
Yes, ma'am.
what is your part in this?
I am the manager. Make sure Jake says head bitch in charge. Merch.
all merch.
Make sure nobody goes to jail. Keep everybody in line. Yeah. Me and my wife, we do all the merch for us.
And so do you create the merch and then get it ordered and then make sure that it gets displayed and sold?
I make it all. What I'll do is I order just plain t-shirts. I get the vinyl. We have a cutter and everything, come up with the design that we like. I'll prove it through the guys just so they like it too. And once one hits, it hits, like the one you're wearing. We have we have quite a few of those out there, but it's also awesome to see from when we first started, people will wear their t-shirts from when we were selling from year 1. And we freak out like, oh, it's an OG shirt. Oh my God, you can have another one.
Yeah.
So we get really excited when we see that.
Well, merch is really important, and I wish that a lot of bands would kind of like invest a little more in merch, because that's really where you're going to make some money besides, your tips and that kind of a thing. But I love this t-shirt. It fits so well. That's the thing.
That's great.
It really is a nice fit. So, so everybody that's listening, seriously, Cougar Trap merch is killer. So you got to get some.
We went through a bunch of ordering to finally get the glit, like the really get in line with what we liked and what fit right with vinyl, what fit right with the sizes and the shrink of the shirt and the quality. And they kill it on that. We have a good deal going with, they do everything. I mean, Katie's should be in the band too, and all the wives. They're just phenomenal. I mean, it's a big family, really.
Big, great group of trap wives.
Yeah. And you can tell that. Like, if you go to your show, you can kind of that really shows. You guys are really, really niched together very well. So, Tori, I had another question for you. It had to do with, do you run the sound and stuff? Like, who runs your sound?
That is Izzy, and Chris runs our lights. So
we had
Izzy's new.
We started off with Steve Lemke. Everybody knows him, Steve. Wonderful. The first year, it's a year and a half, and his helper Eric ended up taking over for about another year, long year, and he ended up when stuff picked up after COVID. He's a union sound and light guy, so he just got busy.
He's working at the Virginia too now.
Yes, he does. Yes,
he's down at the Virginia.
Yeah, exactly. And since it picked up, we got the whole time from COVID until about 6 months when it started to die down with Eric, and he knew us real good. So that was another thing we overcame just the beginning of this year. We were stuck in a spot. Like, I was asking people everywhere, we can do it, but I really like to have a sound and light guy. We put $40,000 in this band in sound and lights.
The drummer's saying yes.
And I like having someone that knows the band. And we fell into a family member of mine, her brother's young, does it. And Chris has been roadieing and figuring out lights for about 7, 8, 9 months,
Yeah.
a year, probably a year. And Izzy Wells is his name. He's from Hoopeston, Eastland area. And he has a studio in his home and he just loves to do it. And actually, he was getting ready to move. He was tired of this area and just going to move to, like, I think, San Antonio. And it just kind of happened. My cousin Ani said, "Hey, my brother does sound and light. Sound. Would you, don't you guys need one?" I said, "Yeah." And he's been with us probably about 3 months now. Done every show, and he was the one that did it in Villa Grove. And he's naturally talented, but he's gotten better each day, and he's figuring more and more stuff out. And so
Oh, he's still teachable, and yeah.
Oh yeah, he's devoted. He's devoted. Him and Chris, they come to every practice, go to every show. They're part of the family too. I mean, we have a giant family. We don't put on that facade. We hang out all. We were just talking about a band vacation to Pigeon Forge right before we came on here, like getting all the wives and members to go down there and just cause ruckus, like, because we're kind of wild.
That was fun.
Okay. All right.
Sounds and lights, but I do the DJing in the middle of the trap music.
Mhm.
Get everybody dancing.
Oh, yeah. You was playing some good stuff.
I
Yeah,
know
that
it was. I had your ass out there shaking it too, for
We
Yeah,
sure.
try
that's
to really make it a full experience.
Yeah.
Like I don't like downtime, and I told her we need a full list of songs. Like when we're in the middle, we usually do a 3-set, 4-hour show with 15 to probably around 15 songs each set. It's a long show. I mean, and we usually do 15 to 20-minute breaks, and we want to keep them dancing out there when it's during the
Yeah.
break. Keep them going.
You do too. You do a great job of that filler. That. And so, where did the name Cougar Trap? Where'd that come from?
I'll let her handle that because it involves her mother. I'll let her.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So driving back and forth to work, and this band talk was getting more serious every day. And then when it was finally, Jake decided that it was going to actually happen. So he was getting his voice ready, and he's like, "We need a name." So we were coming up with other stuff, and he just started singing. I can't even remember what song it was. I want to think Volby, where you finally turned me on to that. But
yeah.
I can't remember. And he was singing, and I was like, "Dude, if you sing this, you're gonna have older hot women, cougars like my mother, are gonna want to come to your show all the time." And I was like, "It's a freaking cougar trap," and it stuck.
That's it.
Her mom came by one night to practice. We were playing Aerosmith. We were playing a Sweet Emotion because we do quite a few classic rock songs, but I would say that we're more 90s alternative, like Cake and Pearl Jam and Blink, and just like our era. Hey, Kylan's 27. Kylan's 27, but the rest of the band is all the same age, all born in 1980. So we kind of have the same music. But yeah, her mom came by and she was like, "Yeah, definitely, it's got to be Cougar Trap." So I mean, like,
Yeah.
and then I wouldn't let them leave one night. I was like, "I want to launch the social media." I was like, "I have it already. I'm tired of waiting. I'm not leaving. We're not leaving this place." So we kind of tossed around all the names, 5 or 6 names that we've been thinking of, and everybody was on the fence about all of them. And then at the end, I'm like, "Well, are we at Cougar Trap? What's going on?" And everybody was like, "I kind of like it." And then April 22nd, 2019. Yeah, 2019, we went online and we're hovering around 3,000 followers. No thanks to the book. I mean, they kind of make it hard these days. But that's where it's went from there. So, and it caught.
Yeah, it was.
That's a fantastic story. I love it because I'm an oldie, but I dig all that music that you're playing. I mean, I like it. I like to dance. I like all that stuff.
We're all pretty eclectic. I mean, I listen to everything. I mean, I listen to classical, rock, alternative. I listen to a lot of hip hop. So I mean, even some country. I mean, we have 2 or 3 country songs on the set at all times. Even though we're not all at all really country listeners, I still respect.
Yeah, you did. Stuff. You played a few.
Yeah, throw a couple hip hop songs in, messing them around, and some hard, some softer, some classic. I just try to keep it, and we try to keep it new. We're always trying to learn new songs, man. Like, I mean, we habitually practice once a week, unless something is going on, or vacations, or sickness, or whatever. So,
Kylan, we've known you for a while, because we've seen you in some different bands, and
Oh, the
you're
legend.
really, yeah, he really, I mean, you're really quite genius with the guitar and with taking off your shirt. I'm sorry, I just had to say it because we were joking about it earlier, but
He's going to be fired after this because he doesn't have a shirt off now. I already told him he had to take it off.
It's in the contract.
It's in the contract.
we're gonna have to take it off when we take the snapshot of the.
We'll do that.
Fair enough.
But being a photographer, as soon as he took that shirt off, I was over there on that corner going, snap, 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 snap. Let me get the zoom. I'm kidding.
On Olympias.
Yeah. But it is, I mean, it's so rock, I mean, it's just so, that's just you, Kylan. I mean, I don't think you're trying to, do anything except for that's just how you play. That's what you are. I mean, and you can rip that guitar. I mean, you shred. It's really amazing. And you've always, since the time I met you, that's across the board. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing for or where you're playing, you give it your all. So and how long have you? I mean, you're what, 27?
Yep. I'll
So
be,
how long?
28 in August. Yeah.
So you're younger than my son.
Baby, man.
He's our baby boy.
Yeah, Cougar Cub, man. He's the Cougar Cub, man.
He's the reason all the Cougars come to the show. They don't come to see these guys.
No.
They come to see him with his shirt off.
Worth his weight, man.
Yeah.
So what you played with some other bands, and you've been playing for quite a while around here and around Danville and that kind of a thing. What do you like about Cougar Trap?
Well, so their first show they ever had actually was on my 25th birthday, and I was going out, for my birthday to go see a band, and I went and saw them, and that was, like you said, Cameron was in the band, and so there for about 6 months I was following the band and was, loved all the songs and the choice of set list and everything and the energy. So, once it became a available spot, it was like one of those things I wanted to get in there and see what I could do and have fun, and it's been cool.
Yeah, and it has. You seem like a super good fit with these guys, because as you said, energy, and there's definitely a lot of energy that goes on, a lot. And I mean, you guys play what, 3-4 hour gigs? So that's
2 hours with 2 breaks. So it's usually it's rough. It's close to set list anywhere from 45 to 50 songs a show, unless it's a shortened venue or something,
Yeah, and so then, and you usually bring your own lights, your own sound, your own all of that. So yeah, how long does it take you to set up to get? I mean, if let's say you're playing at Danville Summer Sounds or something, let's say you were playing a slot from 7 to 9, or 8 to 11. Let's say 8 to 11. When would you head over there and start to set up?
Because it's us, if you would say the time that we would need to set up and be ready, like exactly at the time, it decreases obviously every time we do it, because we're just getting better at it and we keep adding new stuff. So sometimes it adds more time, but we've got it down right now. I'd say as long as nothing goes wrong, but doesn't happen. I'd say like an hour and a half, I would say, or 2 would probably be the max. But we usually go there like early. Like me and Josh usually bring it to the show, because we use his truck and our trailer, and we get it there. And then the 2 roadie sound and roadie guys, they come with, and then and then Phil, because Phil's a genius, man. I mean, he does everything. He's just he's a modern day, he's just.
And that's your keyboard guy.
Yeah, he can do everything. I mean, from soldering to professional chefing to anything. I mean, he kind of amazes me every day. The guy does. Philanthropist is one of his nicknames. The Philanthropist, yeah, and and he can do anything. So we all get there, and we like to have it up and then be able to relax for a while. Before
you get on.
Now, I don't want people that are coming to see the show seeing the behind the scenes. It gives more of to the ambiance and like the mystique, I guess, you would say, even if it's a cover band. I mean,
and then you got some time to sell some merch, and And you love, Jacob, you love to just like meet people and hobnob with people and get selfies and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you're just so, you're kind of bigger in life when you can tell that you're like, we're going to do our show. This is going to be some shit. I'm going to love it. And I mean, you just really just bring a lot of enthusiasm.
I don't know if these guys know that. I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
No, I don't know that at all.
No, they know it very well. It's not an act. I mean, I'm a genuinely 99% of the time happy guy. I love entertaining people. I love getting people. I call myself the Pied Piper of parties, man. Like I love putting them together, getting them there, seeing it all come together. And I usually lose my mind during it. I'm like I said, I'm a compassionate asshole. I mean, I'm very serious about it. And so is the band. Like, I'm just louder about it and I talk a lot. But they keep listening.
He's definitely a man of the people. Definitely a man of the people.
Yeah. So let's talk to Nick for a minute. Nick is the drummer. Give us a little history, Nick, on yourself and music and.
On me, I've been playing drums for almost 30 years now, and I've been in a lot of different bands. I've been playing with bands since probably like, I think 2001, 2002. Nothing really all that big or anything, but I just always kind of stayed busy with it. And there's probably been a year in that whole 20-year span where I wasn't in a band. And there's a lot of times I'm in one or two or three bands sometimes, but I've just always loved it and always loved watching live music and being a part of it and seeing people enjoy it. It's such a great time. I love
He's
doing
phenomenal. He's phenomenal. He's my favorite guy.
He is. He's because he's back there having a good time.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
I like to flail the arms because I get to be the one that's sitting the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
Nick, can I ask Nick a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nick, is that the Office background?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah, there's got Stanley. There's Stanley back there. No, through COVID, my wife was like a Zoom pro with all the meetings and stuff.
Oh, yeah, we all learned some things about.
She had this background, and I'm like, I have to use that background. If I'm going to do this one time, I got to use the Office background.
Nick, like we said, we really genuinely do. We've had a few minor like disagreement, like funny kind of like, hey, we're doing this, well, whatever. But we do all get along very well. Like we laugh a lot, like a whole lot. And I try to make Nick laugh at the shows as much as humanly possible while he's drumming because it's just funny.
His laugh is contagious. Once you hear it over his in-sync microphone that he wears, it's everybody laughs. It's just contagious.
Yeah, that's the downfall is he makes me laugh and my mic's always on.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
It's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. So Nick, how long have you been? Have you always played drums or?
Yeah, I've always played drums. Just with my last couple bands I've been in where I helped with the singing, but this Cougar Trap has been a lot of singing, and that's why I went ahead and got the old headset mic because I knew I was going to be singing quite a bit, and I enjoy it. So I really like being the background guy, I guess, in this band, but I really didn't have a lot of experience with it before. But yes, as far as instruments, definitely just drums.
So you approached him, Jacob?
Yeah, I've known, like I said, me and Nick are both from Hoopston, and I've known him for a long time. In passing, we never really had long-term but I've always respected. He's a freaking phenomenal drummer, and I wanted him originally, to tell you the truth, for the band, but he was in Hurricane Creek, and were you still knowing Oh the Guilt, Nick?
Shit, I just clicked out of it.
I'll carry on. I think he was definitely in Hurricane Creek, which is, and but he was also in a Nirvana cover band called Oh the Guilt. and he just couldn't do it at the time. So he was definitely my number 1 and 2 choice, but Jared, I also knew him, Roach, another phenomenal drummer. And so that's how it ended up forming. But when Jared had to step away from the band, he had a new baby, and he was just, he's a great father, great husband. And he did, COVID hit, and it was just getting tough. And I immediately called Nick right then, and I was all like, hey man, you want to be the drummer of Cougar Trap? And we play his set list for the most part. I mean, it is his personal, I'd say the majority of it, and what we've created since then is stuff that he listens to on a lot. And actually, we just had a long conversation the other day at my house, at my bar at my house, and sat there for hours and talked about new music, what we want to learn, what we want to keep, what we want to bring back. And he was like, I'll never forget it. He said, don't be playing with my emotions. I've been having a rough day today. And I said, no, I'm not joking. I need you to be the drummer right now. And he was like, let's practice this week. And that's how it went right there.
Awesome.
I was really having a rough time, and I don't even remember what it was, but I was having a bad couple of days or something. And he asked me about joining the band, and I'm like, dude, you can't, don't be messing with me right now. It was like one of those things where I thought he was joking with me. I think it was even close to around April Fool's Day. So
yeah. So you
don't be messing with me right now.
Yeah, you seriously thought he was playing.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
Because he knew that I loved the song list, and I always kind of messed with him here and there about, like, man, I don't know why you didn't ask me at the beginning, but it was true. I was busy with one, sometimes 2 other bands. So, but yeah, it was a real easy transition into stuff. Cause like he said, we're all roughly the same age, except for Kylan. And I feel like that we are playing the music that we all, when we started getting obsessed with music, that was like around that time. 13, cool. 14 years old, playing this mid-90s stuff, and it was like, yeah, I know that one. Yeah, I know that one. And it just really fell together really easily. It was nice.
That's awesome. That is really, really awesome. So let me ask you something, and this is, you can answer individually. What has been, in any band, not just this one, what has been your favorite place that you guys have played?
We'll just go around. Start with Kylan.
Go ahead, Kylan.
Shoot, I'd probably have to say Exit. Oh no, Exit 210. I like the stage there. It's pretty cool.
But it's kind of a big place too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are they going to reopen?
Yeah, at some point.
They are.
I think they've invested a lot of money into it, so they've had to get some permits and some particular things.
We just talked to Brad Reese. I talked to Brad through people recently, and it's getting closer, and it's going to be more badass than it was before. They really went into it. Yeah, it's. I'm not speaking for another bar or him, Brad, or at all, but if what I've heard from him, from another person that's in the band, they are pretty close to it. Went through a lot, man. They went through a lot. It was shortly after we played there that it
was. Yeah. It was not long after you played there at all, and I'm glad to hear that, because God knows we can't afford to lose another music venue.
It's wonderful there. I mean, Tori, yeah, you can say yours. What's your favorite? You're there at every one of them. What do you got here?
I've never been in any other band. I mean, somebody growing up who's wanted to play a musical instrument but cannot figure out anything. He's like, you want to be the manager? I was like, well, this is the closest I'm ever going to get, so let's do the damn thing. Honestly, every show is my favorite. Last Call, it's our home bar. Sherry treats us very, very well, so playing there is always a good time. Hoopston did not disappoint at the Sweet Corn Festival last year. We sold out of merch within like 5 minutes of that show, and they weren't even playing yet.
Wow, that's great.
But 1T's Corner Pocket in Champaign, I have a good time. We have a good time when we play that bar.
Scott does us great, man, and
But every venue's been so awesome to us, and they understand, being able to work with them through COVID and you be able to just be negotiable with people. And, they're business too. They understand everything's going on, but every show is a great time. It really is. Cause I'm the one that gets to sit down and I get to watch them, I get to tell Jacob, hey, turn things up, you suck, or fix it.
That's what I usually hear. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to fix it right now.
I'll get up there on stage with him sometime and shove a camera in Nick's face. On Kylan's nipple piercings, I'm all about that. Tito and Phil, gotta love those guys too. But no, every show's a great time. I really can't pick a favorite place.
Oh, great answer.
I'll let go ahead, Nick. Go ahead. I'm gonna let Nick go. I'm gonna use this as a time to go through a couple things on my notes that I got to say involving venues. So,
all right, go ahead, Nick.
Well, I agree with Kylan about the stage at Exit 210. I mean, that's an amazing place, and they have that little like apartment kind of thing for you too, like before, and it's really cool, really cool.
So like what? So they have kind of a little green room.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like a little condo or something. I mean, there's a shower in there, and there's a refrigerator and couches and a big TV and
wet bar. They allow you to stay there the night. It's wonderful.
Better shower than my house.
I know that. That's fantastic.
Growing up in
Brad is phenomenal. We paid for our meal that night. We all came early with the wives at 8, and he came out when the check came and was all like, "That's on us." The guys. I mean, he's been on the scene serving the community forever with Key Car Stereo, and then going to creating the most epic venue around here. I mean, the place is gigantic. I mean, the guy's done nothing but put money into the area and brought amazing shows here. So you got to give him credit, Well,
I can't wait for his reopening. But what I do want to say before you hit your checklist there is, I don't know how I got off track like that, but is that you do a fantastic job. This band, all of members involved, does a great job of promoting your gigs. You guys make sure that all of you have it posted, share, create the event. You do all the right things in promoting your events, and that's kind of huge. Like a lot of bands will fail at like one member maybe will share the event and it just sits there. You know what I mean? So you guys do a fantastic job of making sure everybody on each of your pages or each of your social media is aware of what's happening.
We take, that's your genre, and I send you stuff all the time. I don't know how many times a week I talk to you about things, and you guys do a great job at promoting, the best in the dang area. So, but I come from the era of paper flyers. Like, I always enjoyed like flyers and the artwork, and I do all of our flyers on my phone with free editing apps and literally from scratch. And that's, to God's honest truth, that's one of my favorite parts of the band it's talking with people and getting the name out. And it's because of our band chat. It's probably, I don't know what life would be without the Cougar Convo, man. That's what we call it. And it's archived, and it's funny. It's probably the funniest thing on the planet I've ever seen. The conversations that go on in our thing, it's 50% serious and 50% what in the hell. Like, but we are all very tied in with the information. Like, there's not one person running this. There's some people that do more hands-on with it, but as far as it's a democracy. I mean, we're not like, hey, this is how it's going, and you guys follow along. Is this cool with everybody? Is this what everybody wants? Let's do this. Everybody get on sharing the event. And they pick me up because I'm usually in Facebook jail. And so I gotta go in between that and in and out. So,
that's my job.
You are, that is true.
Hey, it's not my fault that I tell the truth,
You know what? That's what I love about you is you are who you are. You are a genuine soul, and you are so driven and what you're passionate about, what you are passionate about. And I don't know how anybody could criticize you for that. Like, you just are outspoken. You're just there. That's it. That's the way you feel. That's the way it is. And either you can accept that or move forward.
I wouldn't hear it anyways if they were, but you can't hear that. But as far as my favorite, I have to give credit to Sherry at Last Call. It made it all happen. She came to us first things first, when we went on the scene and said she wanted us first, and she's done nothing but show us the most love. I'm sad because it's up for sale now. We're playing there like we always do with the I tractor show and all that. We actually have a double show that weekend, the 8th and the 9th. The 8th will be at Last Call, and then the 9th will be at Cal's Roadhouse, which we also love. I'd have to say the other two that just, man, it's really hard, man. I mean, we played a lot of places, and some that we haven't replayed at, but most of our shows are comeback shows. And Heather and Garrett at Fat Man's, they are like brother and sister to me. They treat me great. Ernie in Paris, Illinois, Twisted Throttle. I could not ask for another man to take care of a band better than he does. They're flipping amazing. Scott at One Tees is just, I mean, the dude has been over backwards. We were one of the first early bands to play in there when he bought it, when it used to be these Goldies. And he is dedicated to local music. The dude has shows all the time. And he ain't cheap about it neither. I mean, he is, and that place is fun to play. But that is, I can't name a favorite, just like I can't name a favorite band or whatever. But going into that, we play the 23rd at One Tees in July. We're playing our first show in the Wild Hare in Fisher, and I seen they just built a stage there. I just seen that on Facebook today. Because
Did they build one out?
Still letting me look, but I can't type. The Wild Hare in Fisher, August 20th, and that's going to be our first show there. And they've just built a new stage out back, as seen on there. We're finally going to get to share the stage with our brothers in Seasonal Disorder out of Gibson City at the Sweet Corn Fest this year in Hoopston, which that's an ongoing every year. I mean, we're from Hoopston's a lot of our home area. Me, Josh, Nick, we grew up with getting there, having fun over there. And I'm working on, I don't have a name for anything yet, but it's going down. I'm working on another big festival that fell into my lap that me and a really talented person are putting together. It's going to be in Westville, August 6th, but that's going to be a big one. It's going to be, I'm working on like 5 bands. It'll be all of our sound. That's another thing we do. We come and we usually provide the sound for multiple bands too beforehand. And then back to Fats for the Lady Poker Ride, which we always love every year. It's the best. So that'll be September 17th. And that's just our summer go. Then we'll start going into the winter, the cold weather indoor gigs,
Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty booked for the summer.
We are. We like to book it early. I don't like messing. That's one more thing that is hard to deal with while you're doing the shows. We get out early and send everybody and say, hey, dates will go quick. Let's get it booked and get it done now.
Who does the booking? You?
All of us.
All of you?
Me and Tori.
But yeah, I would say by the end of February, we had the summer pretty much booked, which was awesome. So we actually, it's the first summer where we had the bars contacting, hey, time to come back too. It's not just always us, because when you go through the times where you don't get Facebook messages answered or whatever, and
it's tough.
It's a little frustrating.
That's what I was going to ask you, because in several podcasts, we do talk about that a little bit. I'm always intrigued with who books and how you book, and do you get responses? And if you don't,
I bug the shit out of them. I'll send them more. And it won't be like, every week or whatever. I'll just notice I haven't heard from them. I sent them a message maybe a month ago, but I'll send them the same thing. I'll copy and paste. Just throwing this out there. If you'd like to have us, just let me know. And, more times than not, you get the third message. You finally get a bite. Like, hey, they really want to play here. Let's see if we can do something with them. And we work with them. Like, especially if it's a venue that we've never played. Like, we want to play there just as much as you want to have us.
Well, it's always been with us. Like, we always go, we have a new place we always lead with.
Yeah.
This is what we charge. And I don't feel bad about what we charge. I put a lot of money in this thing, man. I work my butt off to bring it there. And we have a great following. I don't expect the bar to they should have their own people coming there. But I'm going to bring our following there. And then I always tell them, I'm like, well, we charge this much, but we'll give you a discount on the first run and we'll prove our worth. And if you want to book us again, this is what we charge. If you don't want to, just say no and we'll move on to the next. There's a lot of bars out there. So
but we run into that.
Yeah, and for listeners, they do have a following, so I'm gonna let you venues know that. If you have been contacted by them, they're worth responding to. They will bring people to your bar. They will bring people in that will have drinks. They will be people in that will dance and have fun and have a good time.
Double fisters.
Yeah, yeah.
Several shows where
So,
the bar had to go get more beer because by the end of set one, they were already out.
wow.
Yeah, we
Wow.
ran through that probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, at least
Yeah.
twice.
So we let them know next time you have us, you better have that beer garden because we're serious. We bring some drinkers.
Rock and rolling sober,
Yeah,
man.
no, it's not.
Yeah. Well, and I've got a few suggestions for you, which we'll talk about when we're not recording. What is your, you said you had a 5-year plan, right? Is that what you said in the beginning of this?
It is.
What
it
is,
We're currently the whole band as a whole is currently on year 3. I mean, they're on year 2. Nick and Kylan.
that is hard to
Uh,
believe.
Yeah, it went quick. I mean, it really did, and I think we've overachieved our goals to 3 years as far as I'm concerned. Like as far as the amount of shows, the notoriety, the merch, the just. I want to, I want to know. I've always got to play everywhere else. I traveled the world forever and played in all kinds of bands, and I've never had a following in my home area, and I just wanted to do that. And in the next 2 years, I want to go further out. I want to go out of our area further. Just start like, I mean, there's a lot of bands around here. I mean, big bands, 90s Daughter, X Crush, few Hillbillies that that go out. They just keep adding stuff and keep getting better. I don't want to get stagnant. I don't want to I want to keep adding new songs. I want to keep adding newer material, newer equipment. I think we're finally done purging money with equipment, but maybe not. Who knows? I want to get out of there. We're not doing it for money, that's for sure. If you're in a cover band to make money, you're not very smart. But we do good for ourselves, but we put it all back into the band a lot. I mean, we have a band account, band phone, band page. I mean, we all chip in together, So I'd say biggest in the next 2 years to make it 5 would be to get further out, Kankakee, Springfield. I spend a lot of time promoting other bands. I mean, I do that. I mean, I booked Ancient Ways really young. I fell in love with Unchained from Springfield and put their name out there, got them into some gigs around this area. Ancient Ways, our brothers, I got them some early gigs, even though they were already playing. So was the Hangovers, which they're on an amazing tour right now, wrapping around.
Yeah, they just wrapped that up.
Killing out there.
Great.
And I enjoy that too. I do that I'm not like an agent or anything like that. I promote, I try to get them in there. I call everybody that I figure like they know that I have a conscience and I wouldn't set them up with somebody bad, and I just give them their word. I don't try to book and I say, hey, you should give these guys a call and book them, and it's worked out pretty good. So
Yeah, because you do a lot of cross promoting and you inspire other bands, and you would up level the bands that were playing also. So it wasn't just about you. And
I don't like that. I think too many people there's so many good bands out there that are just like us that do that. But there's some, like anything, there's some out there that are just about them. And I think that it's awesome. It's just as important to have us be popular as our local music scene. I think that to like get people out there, especially what we went through with COVID. I mean, like with all the bull that's going on with that. I mean, to recover from that was tough. Like to get back out there, and I finally feel like we're getting into the groove again. There's a lot of shows out there, man. I say you type them all up, I'm sure you know.
especially Zach. Zach is just dynamite with that. And the event list is longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. But when you say you want to play out, like, would you guys do a tour anytime, or would you do? Because touring is interesting to me. I watch a lot of documentaries on that. But what about your spouses and that? They seem extremely supportive, but you're not interested in doing that kind of travel.
They're all super supportive, but we are all full-time workers. All of us except for Kylan, and that's it. Have kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're hands-on. I ain't skipping family and fatherly duties.
Right.
for my band. I coach my T-ball. I'm so, I'm T-ball coaching right now, and I'm with my kids. We just do it on the band days, and that's that. Maybe have one here and there hanging out, but we keep it as far as our schedule. We try to keep about every other weekend we play, and we try to book all those, and that's good enough for us. But traveling, as far as traveling and going out of the area for the night or overnight, yeah, we definitely want to do that. Like get further out.
Okay, so further areas around your area is what you're saying.
Yeah.
What about like Indiana? Indiana's got some great venues.
Oh yeah,
We played there a couple of times.
Yeah, we did it at Nobles, and they're selling their place. We played there. We played 36 Saloon. We played 36 Saloon, and over in Rockville, the 36. Yeah, and I'm looking even further though. Like I'd like to get in. Springfield's got a great local scene, and I've talked to Runyon, the guy that runs Unchained, about getting in there. Kankakee, we've talked to people up in Chicago. Down in Paris is about as far as we go now.
Right.
And I love playing there. Ernie bought that bar 2 years ago, and he's also Ernie Board is his name. He's also a wonderful supporter of music. It seems like he's got a band there every couple weeks. Good bands from all over. Not just even as far as Sonoris and I used to know the owner of Route 45 in Posodum, but he doesn't own anymore. His
See, that's the thing. Like, so many changes with these venues.
Very much.
I mean,
so.
they changed faster and quicker than the bands did
Very
during
much.
After COVID. There was fresh faces with music and with musicians and with bands, and then there was some changing of band members, and then there were some bands that just we're done. But man, them venues, there's been just radical changes in. It's hard to keep up with that.
Very much so. I mean, I think overall that's the hardest part of being in the band. And I get frustrated with it at times, but I do enjoy doing it. But that doesn't mean that it's not a pain a lot of times. I feel like our product's worth what it is, what we charge. I think we should probably make more, but I'm not trying to become rich on it. I want to get out there and just not lose money doing it. And I'd say 90% of the bars that we play right now really are easy to deal with. It's a little easier now than it was at the beginning. Just doing the back and forth with the owners, and but now we've kind of set a precedent in our area with the band, the place we play, and they know what we're bringing. And I'm not going to be upset. We can still be friends. They don't want to call us back, but if they do, I'll keep playing there. So
One thing about all of these guys, then getting to know them over the past couple of years, and they all become my brothers, is like, it's definitely not about the money. You can tell how individually they are as musicians and how they are as together, and it's never ever been about the money. If anybody's about the money,
but we will take more money. We'll take more money.
Because I make the shirts, but that's they're not about that. I mean, like you said, he's energetic. It can be one of the funniest things to watch is him and Tito, our bass player. They get so pissed off if you're not dancing. Like they get hurt so bad and that's when our bass players start getting loud on the mic. Like, oh, what's your plans? You're like, it's funny to me because I'm like, oh shit, now I got to figure something out. But they do a good job. They do, and it's never been about money for them, and that's what's awesome. You have a 27-year-old kid here who could be all about the money if he wants because he's at that age.
Oh yeah.
He genuinely loves music. He loves playing for everybody, and you can see it when he plays. I mean, he's our baby.
I think the best thing about the band is I think we all want each other to get better.
Yes.
I think we're all really good with devoted to the rehearsing or what we practice. But I think that especially with Kylan, like I told him, he's younger than us, but he has an old soul with his music that he listens to and with himself. But he's learned a lot of stuff from the 90s that he did not know. It comes natural to us because it's on our playlist, it's every day. But he puts the extra work in to learn it and get the feeling of it, not just the chords and what it does. And I would say he's learned a lot in the 2 years he's been with us. And I want everybody to get better.
He could definitely be making more money than what he makes now if he really wanted to. But
OnlyFans, he'd be making dough. OnlyFans, he'd be making that money. You know, OnlyFans.
He sticks it out with us, and they're all awesome.
You know, Kylan, I think I met you. The first time I met you, I think it was Red Hot Winter.
I think so,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, and I think you were modeling,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that you could play the guitar. Yeah, because you were a model for Red Hot Winter, which was very cool. And then I see. Then of course we added each other as friends, and then I seen you playing the guitar, and I'm like, what the holy heck here?
Yeah.
Like oh my God! Like you're a great model. You are a fantastic musician.
On the underground. I got him on the underground circuit right now.
Yeah,
He just wears a mask. He wears a mask. He can't see it.
he's so funny because he really gets into the zone. Like when he's playing, he's in that zone. I mean, I don't even think that you knew I was standing there with a camera.
Kylan's faces that he makes are one of my favorite things ever to be on a show and the show. Like I watch him and I'll get my wife like, look at Kylan's face. Like you can tell that he zones everything out and he just freaking play.
He really does. He's got music face. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tell us what you love, Nick. How much you love me.
There's that laugh. That's what you hear over the speakers when Jake makes you laugh.
Yeah, Jake's always trying to trip me up, looking back at me and lifting up his shirt, just acting a fool.
Yeah. I think it's acting wonderful and trying to make him laugh. I'm not trying to trip him up. You can't trip Nick up, man.
No, like because he's the same way. He is very engaged with what's happening around him, and he's looking around and playing and all of that. But he knows what he's doing. You're not gonna mess him up.
What a big shout out to our fans, man. That's all that matters. The people that come to every show and keep hearing us and dealing with us, that's what we love.
I will call Nick Sink out. I mean, he does drop his sticks from time to time, but you'd never know it. But we find out the next day when he's like, I dropped my damn stick 4 times. He gets so mad at himself.
It's so frustrating, but at the same time, I don't have a problem admitting it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
You can
human
never
thing,
tell.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You dropped a stick. I'm like, okay. I'm just too busy covering up the gutter holes that we're parked over so his stick doesn't fall down there.
Yeah, you do, Tori. You do such a fantastic job, just really kind of monitoring things and watching out for things and all of that. It's really it was so much fun. I didn't know what I was missing, so to speak, till I came to see you guys, and then now I'm like, yeah, I'm sold. I'm a cougar. I'm a cougar.
Hey.
I'm a fan, and Zach's up next. Zach will be there to see you guys because you haven't seen them yet.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and it seems like you got a lot of dates here to choose from.
Tons of, they're all posted. We update them regularly. I got them. We usually try to put the event out.
Yeah, so that's on Facebook. It's Cougar Trap, COUGARTRAP. Also, can they purchase merch without being at a show?
Yeah, and we do run into the problem where like I want the Cougar shirt, and I'm like, well, I don't have any more of those, and I just tell them you just message us. That way, I have a reminder. I'll tell them to message just personally me, my wife, or the band page because I'll read it, and that way it'll remind me. So yeah, as long as it's sent a message, we can do anything, mail it out.
Yep.
I mean,
Okay,
do what we
that's
need to do.
that's great. So you have T-shirts. You have what? What else do you have going?
We have koozies. We do some stickers time to time.
Car
We do
vinyl
those,
stuff.
The car vinyl stickers. Basically.
Really, we've made panties before. We've made.
I mean, if anybody
COVID
asks for
masks,
something,
COVID masks
I
we
can
had.
make it,
We can make about anything. But it's usually just car stickers, koozies, shirts. You know, we've done hoodies. All that stuff.
I've learned to have a black wardrobe from my drummer because that's all he wears. So we usually just buy black T-shirts and stick on every color of vinyl that you can imagine. And you know, if anybody wants a custom shirt, which is our bass player, he comes up with some of the greatest shirts I've ever made and ever thought of.
She makes me she makes me a new one that I come up with every show.
Yeah, him and Josh.
Yeah, we usually send them.
His are very outrageous and very not kid friendly, but they're great.
Yeah, but you guys would play because and the reason I'm going to ask this question is because today I was approached a message on our page looking for a band for a private event. So I sent them our Look Before You Book link. Because they can browse that, and she specifically said family friendly, and I said, well, most of these bands in Champaign-Urbana and surrounding areas know how to be family friendly. They can be. If it's a family friendly event, they can tone it back a little bit. They'll watch their language. They can be family friendly. It doesn't matter. And I assume that you guys can too.
Yeah, we our policy, I guess, on private parties is I want it to be what the kind of music they want, first of all, that we play. And yeah, we've done family friendly, multi things that are family friendly, and how long it is, you know, because I mean, some of our stuff that we do is just not family friendly, and we'd have to reduce some songs. But yeah, I mean, we're totally up for doing private parties and have done them. It's just got to fit right, you know, that specific party, you know.
Okay, and then so you do play private events if it fits, if you get it into your schedule, and so I wanted to know that. Also, the email for Cougar Trap is cougartrap19@gmail.com. That's one way that you can contact this band. Another way is 217-377-9330 is the phone number for the contact to book this band. And again, go to their Facebook page. They are so good. Cougar Trap is so good about being updated on everything that's happening with them. Their events, where they're going to be, what time they're going to be there, and you just won't feel lost. You will be able to find out exactly where they're going to be, exactly when, and exact times. I mean, you guys are so thorough about that. We love that about you because it makes our job so much easier when we put it on the event list, you know. So you guys got anything else you want to shout out? Or
we love America and love the troops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the Trap wives, my wife. I mean, they couldn't have done this without them.
My wife Heather, Josh's wife Dina.
He gets genuinely upset if his wife can't make a show. I'm a whole different person if my wife can't make a show. Kylan's figuring out which ex-wife he's going to take home or something. You know, trying to figure that.
Or what cougar he wants to.
Nick's wife
is probably one of the funnest people ever in the world.
Phil's girl Becky's amazing.
Becky's awesome. Yep. And you got Dina, who is Josh's wife.
Yeah, it's great.
And his Lemon Drop.
Yeah, my wife Heather, she's the best.
All the wives are
they're all involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is and that's to be really deeply respected, because their support is so it's everything. It's everything for how you guys can feel free enough to engage with people and, you know, not have. It's so important, and I could tell, you know, that the support is definitely there from all of your spouses and girlfriends or, you know, whatever.
Our kids genuinely enjoy it. Like my son, the youngest, he wears a shirt all the time that says, "My mom manages a band."
Yeah, it's cool. That's cool for
Cougar Trap sign on the back, and I made Nick's little boy.
Oh my gosh!
His little boy had the first very one.
My 5-year-old is genuinely mad every time I put on a bandana, and it's not a fashion statement. I just sweat a lot, so I'm on my face. So he puts on. He's like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, to show, and he's like, he doesn't understand why he can't go. He's like, "Why can't I go?"
Why can't go? Yeah.
Hey, great.
That's why it's great when you can play festivals and, you know, street dances.
Our bass player's daughter actually came out. He's been teaching her playing the bass, and what song did she jam?
She came to our last practice. We've been kind of, like I said, on a few weeks of downtime, just from vacations and whatnot. And Anna, Josh Turner's daughter, I've known her since she was born. She's really good on bass because
11 or
Josh teacher
12.
everything came out to
Yep.
practice and just took over, did a full version of Typo Negatives, Black Number One, and Green Jellos, Three Little Pigs. Just played it off the top of our head, and it was fantastic. It actually made me pretty emotional because I've known her since that. You know, I was like, oh,
She's 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Like amazing.
Yeah, cool.
All of the Cougar kids are
wonderful.
amazing. They really are.
Yeah, and that's so cool because it is so great to get kids involved in music in any way. I mean, that's such a positive, 100% positive thing. Definitely. So, all right, guys, it's been absolutely awesome having you on the podcast. Again, we're gonna definitely put your Facebook down on the link with the podcast, as well as the information of how to contact you guys. You're always a blast. I knew this would be fun, and so that's it for the night. You guys hang in there for a minute after we get done recording. All right.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Appreciate it.
See ya.